Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we're tackling a massive, massive goal for so many focused language learners out there, and that's mastering English speaking. But here's the real kicker. We're diving into sources that completely prove you can achieve incredible fluency without ever stepping foot outside your house. That's right, no expensive plane tickets, no uprooting your life to move abroad, just you, your home, and some incredibly effective daily habits. Okay, let's dive right into this. All right, really quickly, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1, the myth of immersion, 2, rewiring your brain, 3, the at-home fluency toolkit, 4, your daily practice routine, and finally, 5, confidence through consistent action. Let's get started. Section 1, the myth of immersion, breaking the barriers to fluency. Look, we all share that dream, right? Speaking English confidently, totally naturally, without that nervous knot in your stomach, or constantly translating every single word in your head before you open your mouth. But what if the secret to that fluency was literally already in your home? I mean, it completely turns our traditional assumptions about language learning upside down. It really doesn't matter where you live, how old you are, or even what your current English level is. The exact tools you need for dramatic improvement, they're sitting right there in your living room. Because society loves to push this myth, right? This idea that fluency absolutely requires moving to an English-speaking country or just dropping an absolute fortune on private tutors. But the reality is completely different. Thousands of successful learners all over the globe have proven that fluency is actually built through simple, daily habits and sheer consistency right at home. You honestly don't even need a conversation partner. You just need the right techniques. Moving right along to Section 2, rewiring your brain, the mindset shift. Okay, before we even touch your daily habits, we absolutely have to talk about changing your mindset. Speaking is a skill. It's just like driving a car or playing a musical instrument. I absolutely love this analogy. Speaking isn't about memorizing some massive textbook list of grammar rules or vocabulary. It's a physical and mental reflex. Think about the very first time you got behind the wheel of a car. You were probably overthinking the pedals, the steering wheel, the mirrors, all of it, right? It felt super clunky. Making mistakes at first is totally, completely normal. Every fluent speaker was once a really uncomfortable beginner. The more you practice, the more automatic the whole thing becomes. Now, the biggest hurdle most beginners face is what we call the translation lag. You hear the English, you understand it, but before you speak, you think in your native language and then try to translate it word for word. And that's what causes that awkward hesitation. So to rewire your brain, you've got to shift to thinking directly in simple English sentences. Start really small. Like when you look out the window, just think to yourself, the weather is sunny today. Or you look out the street and think, wow, that car is fast. These tiny, tiny mental exercises throughout the day, that is what actually rewires your brain for speed. All right, Section 3, the at-home fluency toolkit, practical methods. So how do we actually put all of this into practice? Well, here are your core high-impact fluency habits. First up, and yeah, I know it sounds a little weird at first, talk to yourself. Literally narrate your day. Say out loud, I'm making breakfast. Now I'm cutting the bread. It forces your brain to operate in English in real time. Next, reading aloud for just 10 to 15 minutes a day. That physically trains your tongue and your vocal muscles. Third, record yourself. Whip out your phone, speak for 1 minute about your day, and then listen back to it so you can catch your own pauses. Fourth, practice answering common questions out loud in full sentences. Like if someone asked, what are your goals? How would you answer? And finally, retelling stories. Watch a short video, pause it, and summarize what just happened in your own words. It is an unbelievable workout for your vocabulary recall. Okay, now I really want to highlight a specific, incredibly powerful technique called shadowing. Essentially, this is listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what you hear, almost at the exact same time. It's like an echo. This is basically the ultimate hack to make your mouth and your brain work together naturally. So, here's how you turn shadowing into a daily exercise. Step 1, grab a short audio clip, maybe a podcast snippet or a quick YouTube video. Step 2, listen really carefully to the flow of the speaker. Step 3, repeat the words, but, and this is the secret sauce, don't just repeat the words. You have to copy their rhythm and their intonation exactly. Match their emotion, match their speed. I'll be honest, it feels pretty difficult for the first few days, but learners report major improvements in their pronunciation and speaking speed almost immediately. Another massive game changer, speaking in chunks rather than single isolated words. Using pre-packaged blocks of language like, how's it going? To be honest, or I'm looking forward to it. Doing this lets you completely bypass the mental gymnastics of building sentences word by single word. Native speakers don't construct sentences from scratch every time. They use these blocks. If you start keeping a personal notebook of these chunks, your speech is going to instantly sound significantly more fluid and natural. Now, we also have to remember that pronunciation absolutely matters when it comes to clear communication. Practicing tricky sounds, like ship versus sheep or live versus leave, is vital. Why? Because those tiny little vowel shifts can literally change the entire meaning of what you're trying to say. The source material highly recommends using online dictionaries to hear the exact sounds, the word stress, the rhythm. Please don't shy away from the hard sounds. Just repeat those tricky pairs multiple times until your mouth literally gets used to the physical shape of the words. And hey, we've got a massive unfair advantage today, right? Technology. Listening to audio and podcasts allows your brain to passively absorb sentence structures and native intonation, even if you don't understand every single word. Plus, you can actually use AI tools nowadays to roleplay. Have an AI act out a job interview with you, or pretend you're ordering from a waiter at a restaurant. It gives you unlimited, totally judgment-free opportunities to practice real-life scenarios. It's amazing. Which brings us nicely to Section 4, your daily practice routine, the under 1 hour blueprint. So it's time to pivot to the actual action plan. How do we take all these awesome tools and actually fit them into a busy schedule? Well, check this out. A complete 45-minute daily routine. Just 45 minutes. You spend 15 minutes listening to absorb the language, 15 minutes of shadowing to train your mouth movements, 10 minutes just speaking to yourself to build that direct English thinking, and then a quick 5 minutes recording your voice to track your progress. That's the whole shebang, less than an hour a day. And the absolutely crucial point here is that this daily consistency beats the pants off of sitting down and cramming grammar for 4 hours once a week. Hands down. But to actually maintain that routine, you need the right goals. A vague goal like, hey, I want to speak English fluently, is a beautiful dream, but it's super hard to measure. Instead, you need a hyper-actionable goal. Something like, I will speak in English for 10 minutes every single day for the next 30 days. Boom. That is something you can actually check off a list. Small, specific goals are what keep your motivation high. And remember, celebrate those small wins, and whatever you do, never compare your unique journey to anyone else's. Your only real competition is the person you were yesterday. And finally, Section 5, confidence through consistent action. Let's bring it all home, guys. We need to completely redefine what fluency actually means and finally ditch that fear that keeps so many learners silent. Listen to me. Fluency is not perfection. Communication is the goal. So many people stay quiet because they're absolutely terrified of using the wrong verb tense. But here's a little secret for you. Native speakers make grammar mistakes literally all the time. Seriously. Do not let grammar perfection stop you from opening your mouth. Every mistake you make, it's just a valuable data point. It's a learning opportunity. Fluency is just the ability to express your thoughts clearly and naturally, as imperfect as they might be. The more you speak, the less fear you're going to feel, I promise you that. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative question. Where will your English be in 3 months if you actually practice every single day from home? Just imagine it. Understanding more, speaking smoothly, and finally feeling genuinely confident in conversations. The tools are literally right in front of you. Your own home can become the best English classroom in the world. So start today. Talk to yourself, shadow those native speakers, record your voice. Step by step, that confidence you've always dreamed of is going to become your reality. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep up the amazing practice, and I will see you next time.